Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing, Season 25, Race 12, Season Finale. And we are here at the Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. And I think we're going to have a show on our hands. A nice season crescendo. And to be fair, you look on reflection, and it's been such a fantastic season. We've had some great races, some fantastic racing, some great drivers, great racing, and a little bit of a tear to my eye that the season's coming to an end. We'll of course be looking at the next one, but in a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, whenever. But yeah, it's just that the season seemed to whiz by all of a sudden, and we are here again. And what fitting way to end the season than at Abu Dhabi, which is of course on the real life calendar, the final one. Hello, David Eggers. Who's Noodles? I was gonna go who's Noodles? Noodles. Yeah, Noodles and Marty, a couple of the Dutch contingent. I think they're getting a bit of Dutch support as well. And we're on with the Finn, driver of Katamis, who's a very consistent member of the league. Frustrating driver, but I love him all the more, and we'll jump on a hot lap with him as he goes down the start-finish straight and starts the first flying lap of the qualifying session. Turn 1, you want to turn in late and take as much action as possible, and foot down to the floor for the next 3 corners. Pretty much sector 1 is only turn 1. You've got to get that right, otherwise you'll be messing up. Turn 5, one of the adjusted corners on the track where you want to get as much traction and speed on the exit down the 1.2 kilometre straight. DRS open. We will be seeing 1 or 2 overtakes down this straight. If people play it right, they'll probably stay behind the car and overtake on the next straight. Sharp braking zone down into turn 6 and 7 chicane. You want to turn in late and then get as much rotation on the exit. Open up that corner again around the official turn 8, but this DRS is more of a bend. Turn 9 again, changed corner where if you've got good traction on your tyres, good fresh new tyres, then you're going to get 1 or 2 overtakes there. Tricky turn 10 to 12 where it's forced the driver to brake hard. The bags of lateral loads still in the car. He took that well. Turns 13, 14, smooth left-handers. Easy to go on the exit, and Katamis on the exit ends up spinning and losing it. Who's next? It's Callum who's going to be finishing the lap. Turn 15, which is flat out, and turn 16, short run to the line. And Callum is the first one to make a time with a 1:23.1. Sygate 1:23.9. So good time there from Sygate. I'm a D coming home just behind Callum, 200ths. Terry's jumping above his teammates at 23.3. Looper with a 24 flat. I think Looper's got plenty more time in his car. Thelemy, currently EP original 3.3 with a 23.3. 200ths again ahead of Terry's. Noodles getting his first flying lap. The 1:24.1. I think he's got more time in his car. And Hydrade, I missed you earlier. Shame you're not with us today. Enjoyed having you on track with us a couple of weeks ago. Picnic going out on the mediums with a 24.8. So good time from him on mediums. Again, he's got more time to find. His first outing for us in Lights Out League Racing this season. It's good to have him back. For those that know him in the Discord, Yates film connoisseur. Big Mike, good to see him on track as well. He's been absent most of the season. Started off as a full-time, but joined in as a reserve and filling in for the final race, which is good to see him again. His mission today is to finish the race, and I've got everything crossed for you to do that. It's quite a wide circuit, but comes home with a 27.7. Rid just on his lap there. We'll jump on Marty, who's ahead. So Martin, who's in the lone Aston this week, and we'll do a bit of housekeeping in a minute. joined us for the last quarter of the season, I think it is, and he's getting a bit of slipstream off the Mercedes driver who gets out of the way well of Big Mike, who's on his in lap. You see one or two drivers that are quite new or don't race that often in leagues. Don't tend to have that qualifying etiquette, but Marty goes a little bit wide. Lucky to not invalidate his lap time there, going past the white line, but he will cross the white line of the start finish and set a time of 1:23.4. Takes provisional P5, just a tenth behind Terry. So I think there's one or two drivers here still to set a time. If we jump on with Red, who is starting his. It's got a bit slow. He hasn't actually officially set a time for him, but looks very slow. So I don't know if he's can't be doing a lap now. Must be doing another in lap. I think he must have invalidated on his lap. His last time. He's got a Haas coming up right behind him. He's get out of the way. Ends up going to the wall and retiring from quali. End up Katami's invalidating his time. And I was just saying about qualifying etiquette. The Ferrari driver needed to get out of the way then, and he got himself out of the way into the wall. We're second with Dan Morris here as Haas slows down, and they'll be looking to jump back in. Going again on these tyres. Dan Morris, who's been quite consistent. This guy's due a podium. He started off the season as Mr. P4, and he's just been missing that final few tenths, that little bit of luck, a little bit of consistency during a race. He's had a strong finish to the season. He's been getting a few P5s and 6s, but he just needs that little bit extra. And goes a little bit wide. He's lucky not to invalidate on turn 14. It comes home, crosses the line, and provisional P6 or 1:23.6. So I think he's just gone for a safe banker there. This fella is on an in lap. So yeah, we'll do a bit of housekeeping while one or two are going in and out of the pits. We've got Thelemy and Brid, who's retired both in the Ferrari, filling in for Kiesa and Barcelona. Both absent for today for different reasons. I think Barca's got something with his girlfriend, and Kiesa's watching Liverpool. We've got, like I said, Yates here filling in for Portuguese, who's watching Benfica in the Champions League tonight. And Big Mike filling in for Tristan, who's absent as well this week. Wish them all the best. We've also got both the Alpine drivers, who their potential constructors championship is up for grabs. It isn't officially won. It's going to be tight, and it's down to Looper and Picnic to try and take it away from them. Both Adam and Wesker missing this week as well. Kick Melody in the Aston is missing. AJ thinking that there's quite a few people missing this week has made himself absent. But we do have 13 drivers, which it didn't quite look that way. But a few reserves have jumped in, which we're very thankful for. And his teammate Diogo, again missing this week. So Amadi slightly improving on his time, but not enough to get ahead of Callum. Exactly a hundredth just behind Callum. So great lap from him. Sygate's just ahead on a flyer. Is Looper ahead of him? Looper's just started, so we'll see if Sygate says just under 2 tenths quicker on his time, which if he can find some extra time this final sector, final couple of corners, could get himself ahead of Dan Morris. Crossing line, and he does get himself up to P6 with a 1:23.5. Teammate Terry's, who's diving in the pits. He was, I think it's just under 3 tenths slower, so he wasn't going to improve on that. We'll jump on with Looper, who's screeching his tyres. His teammate Nick's just coming around to finish his lap. I'm sure his Picnic's got a bit more time to find, and he does cross the line with a 24.2, just behind Noodles. We'll check on with Looper, who's nearly 2.5 tenths up, which won't improve his place, but he's still got this final sector. Just coming around turns 13 and 14, again nice and smooth. Keep it within the white lines, flat out around turn 15, and he dives in the pit, so I think he's messed up on that last sector. We'll have a jump on with Callum then, who's currently, and increases his time with a 22.6, blows the time out of the water. Noodles 24.1, so hasn't improved. So left one just coming back out. We'll jump on with Katamis, who's yet to set a time. We'll see what speed he can do. Of course, was impeded by a Briddy, which if he wants to can put in for a quali ban if he wants to, but it's the final race of the season. I don't think he'll want to. As he's coming around the final corner, can he get himself up to those top positions, up to provisional P5, the 23.3, 200ths behind Terry, so it's getting very tight. 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths between, 5 tenths, half a second between P2 and P8. Woo! See how Neil was getting on, so he is down this lap. Is he doing an out lap? Another out lap, another warm up lap. As well, jump on with Dan. Marty is ahead of him, so we'll keep an eye on Marty then. So Marty is slightly down in his time as he ends the second sector. Can he find some extra time in this final few corners? Navigates it looking slow on the exit, so I don't think he's improved. Is he going to jump straight in the pits? He does. So we'll jump on back with Dan, see how he's getting on. Come around turn 12. Cuts turn 13. Hi Callum, how you doing, mate? Set a fantastic provisional pole. It'd be hard to beat that one. Half a second ahead of Amadi. I think he's coming out for his final flying lap now. And Dan does improve. 23.3 gets himself up to P6. And it's so tight. 600ths between Terry's and Dan. It was a decent lap. Like I say, it'd be hard to beat that one. So I think Noodles is doing... He's half a second down, so he's struggling to switch on this lap. What's if safety car does come out? Don't think it will. I believe in everyone. See how Amadou's doing. So he's currently just over 10th up, which will get him potentially into the 122s, but he still needs to find another 4 tenths to get ahead of Callum. You could try and do a last to first if you wanted to. Oh no, you've retired. Yeah, that's fine. It's your prerogative. No one's going to berate you for it. Amadi is your closest challenger for now. Tell him he can be quick though. He might be saving himself for a last flying run. Amadi coming around the final corner, crossing the line. Does improve, and Callum's done an ego retire, and Amadi has just slapped him in the face with a giant kipper with a 22.5. Fair play, exactly, fair play. And yeah, your ego retire. That was funny. That was funny. Who's next to come round? Terry's, who's down in his time. Can he find an extra time in the final corner? He cannot, and stays P4. Looper has found plenty of time though. As he comes around turn 12. Almost 3.5 tenths up. Which won't improve his pace, but can he find this extra tenths he needs? This will be his final potential flying lap. And 23.6 just behind Cygate. Can't improve on his time. Big Mike is just down on his time. Can he find some extra few tenths, few hundredths in the final? Skids around turn 16. Comes home with a 25 and he's 3.5 tenths up, down, and can't improve. You've got the last few drivers now coming out on their last flying lap. Down to Thelemy. I think it's the only other one that could potentially challenge for pole. What can Katamise and Dan do? It's all very tight. I think Marty is on his final flying lap. Will want to gain another couple. Even if he gains a couple of tenths, will get him up to P4. 2.5 tenths to get him up to P3. That's how tight this is. All to play for. Gets a slipstream. And I don't think that Mercedes would have helped him. Mikey should have got out of the way then. Get off the racing line. Don't know if it'll hamper Marty too much, but we'll see as he comes around the last few corners, pushing the car to its limits. Round turn 15. Can he improve? Get himself higher than P7. Drifts around the final corner. P6 at 23.3. Just ahead of Dan, who's still got his lap to go. Cygate crosses the line. Stays P8. Dan Morris just starting his final flying lap. What can Katamise do? And he spins again on turn 14, where he did before. That wouldn't have helped him at all. Who've we got next? I can't see, my eyes are killing me. It's Noodles, and he will stay P10. Next is Picnic, who's half a second off. He's found plenty of time. Should get him up ahead of Noodles up to P10. It doesn't. It gets him up to P5 with 23.3, and that's what the RB needs. What can Thelemy do? He goes P3 and stays P3, the 22.7, so he gets into the 22s, but just not close enough to the top two. Marty's down. It's all now down to Dan Morris and potentially Cygate. Can Dan? He just needs to find a 10th. We'll get him up to P4. He's so close in this midfield here. And he gets himself to get himself to P4 with 23.1. Smashes it out of the park against his rivals. And Cygate jumps into the pits. Some great times found right at the last. Amadi will take pole, and that precious point that the RB team needs for that constructors. Whoa, what a qualifying that was, and some drivers found their looks. I think I was expecting a bit more from Noodles, but I think he's a little bit under the weather today, so probably struggling a little bit. Picnic, considering it's his first race this season, gets himself P6. Wow. So Amadi on pole with a 22.5. What, a tenth of head of Callum. He'll join on the front row. Thelemy filling in for the Ferrari team. P3 with Dan Morris joining on the front row, looking for that first podium. Terry's P5. Great qualifying for him and Picnic, like I just said. Katamise P7. He'll be happy with that, with Marty joining him. Cygate P9 and Luke Per, the second RB, P10. He'll be looking to maximise his points For constructors, Noodles P11, Big Mike P12 and Briddy crashing out in quali. And we'll start at the back. Whoever's in chat, let's put your prediction. Who's going to win this race? Who's going to be on your podium? I'm gonna say you're gonna have to say. I'm gonna say Callum's gonna win, and only for the reason that Amadi was prone to so many penalties last week. And I just don't know if it was because of it wasn't his track, or he's a little bit out of form. But I think Callum's gonna get the win with Amadi second, and I've got to go for Dan for P3. I'm hoping for Dan to get that podium. But also, for constructors, we need the Visa RBs to get as many points as possible to try and fight for the Alpines. The Alpines are favourite for the constructors. Are 46 points ahead currently, so RB need to be finishing high up the grid. And tyre strategy, Katami starting on the softs, so looking racy right on the beginning. Can he do softs to hards or soft to mediums? My strategy would be probably mediums to hards. The front three starting on the hards, looking to do the alternate strategy. Alongside Trigate and Brid. And Andy leading around with Callum just behind. And Thelemy. All three of them getting into the 122s. So it's going to be very, very racy between them. Dan is going to have a bit of a train with him. Terry's, Picnic, Catamies, Marty's, Sayat, Lupin, Noodle. I think all of them. Brid potentially join in. There's going to be a big train. A 5.28 kilometre anti-clockwise circuit. 16 corners, 7 to the right, 9 to the left. 2 DRS zones, both down those straights. Split between turn 6 and 7 chicane, where we're going to see a lot of the overtaking. The track located on Yas Island, just east of in the Abu Dhabi city. Yas Island, of course, is one of 200 islands that make up the Abu Dhabi capital city. Abu Dhabi, the richest city in the world. A lot of glam and glitz, and it's probably why it's the last circuit on the calendar, because it's where all the cash is and where the potential money can be made, where the drama can unfold. Just going under the Yas Viceroy Abu Dhabi Hotel, first ever hotel built over F1 circuit. And the drivers now jumping into their grid slots. This track debuted in 2009, the season finale where Vettel took the win from his teammate Mark Webber and that season's champion Jenson Button, but he went on to win the race and the season and the championship in 2010, and had plenty of tears to go along with it. As it's 2, 3, 4, 5. It's lights out and away we go. In Amadi looks like it's good launch off the line. Callum slots easily behind. Thellamy's got track position, but Dan takes him on the inside. Thellamy has to go off the track to avoid collision, and Dan takes the position up to P3. Let's have a quick look at positions. As Katamis has also made 2 positions on his softs, is looking on the inside of Thellamy. He's dropped a couple too, is on the struggle to get those hard tyres switched on, down to P5. Noodles has made 3 places. Up to P8, a good launch from him. Terry's unfortunately lost a couple and just overtaken his teammate down to turn 6. Grid has also made up 2 places. Big Mike dropping to the back. Thellamy retaking the position. Back up to P4 from Katamis. He's actually inside Katamis. There's been a little bit of a collision at all as Katamis has battling with his friend Yates and goes up to P4, maximising those soft tyres and that grip as Thellamy's is battling with Marty in the Aston. And, oh, clips Marty on the inside of turn 13. And Marty's now dropped to the back of the grid. Doesn't look like he's got damage, so he can keep going. And Armadi crosses the line first and takes the first fastest lap of the race. 29 laps, 28 to go. Him and Callum have broke away. Dan Morris has stayed in P3 and got a bit of gap between him and Katames, who, again, like I said, he'll be looking to capitalise on those soft tyres. Yates is pulled along with him, though. Katames is the start of this train. With pit. Oh, what have I done here? Stop. Don't want to stop the tyres. And Big Mike overtaking Briddy. Great overtake with him down the start. DRS is active. And Looper getting taken by Big Mike as well. As Looper going to look on the inside defence from Briddy. And Noodles and Bellamy battling hard down to turn 6 and 7. DRS will be open again. It's a fight for 3 drivers here, with Terry's just behind as well. As Noodles has to defend that. Terry's on the outside of Noodles down to turn 9. Noodles will have that group, but will Terry's have track position? Goes off the track. But goes on the inside of turn 10 and 11 and 12, and will have that corner. Great overtake from Terry's. Great battling between those 2 drivers. Oh, and Bellamy's out. Bellamy's loses traction. I don't think he had a collision because Katames was ahead, and the safety car is out. Loses traction on turn 14, where we saw Katames lose it in qualifying, and he takes this opportunity to pit and get off his stock tyres. Will he go onto hard and try and get to the end of the race? He does. Big Mike jumps into the turn as well. Has he got damage? He does have damage, so he should touch wing change and jumping onto some fresh mediums. So it does bunch up this track. Oh no, Looper, no! Italian hand gesture. I hope it's not a game glitch. It's such a ball ache when that happens. And the RB needs so all those integral points to try and get that constructors away from Alpine. Which all means he'll have to jump in the pits and do his drive-through once the safety car's in. So your order: Armadi, currently P1. Callum's held his P2. Dan Morris has got himself up to P3. Slotting behind his teammate. Yates up to P4. Great showing from him for his first run out of this season. Terry's P5, he'll be happy running here. Noodles P6 from P11. He'll be happy running this. Sygate doing well, P7. Looper will have to do that drive through, so won't be here for long. Brady will be up to P8 then. Marty P9. We'll be happy to see his safety car. I hope that's not Looper trying to do a drive through, because you cannot serve your drive through under a safety car, my friends. You'll be pitting on to getting off some tyres here. Actually, this might be a stroke of genius. If he's going onto some hards, knowing he has to do a drive-through, it will stop, and he's getting rid of his wing as well. He's getting off his medium, so getting rid of his wing, knowing he has to do his drive-through, which will end up at the back. So it's actually a wise move from Looper. So it might be some strategy play there. So I apologise. And then Big Mike at the rear of the grid, who did pit, of course. Finish the race, my friend. That's all I want from you. Nothing crazy. You did some great overtakes with the DRS. But don't crash out. And we've unfortunately lost Bellamy. He was a challenger for the podium for the win. He struggled to get those hards switched on. I think if these cars do manage to join up, the safety car will be in this lap. This will stretch out the stints for the current drivers who haven't pit yet. Can Katames do 10 to 25 laps on the hard? I'd probably say yes. He'd probably hope for another lap round the safety car. And it would have said it was in now, so I think we'll be going round again. And while we do go round again, I'll have a sip of my vino. Having a glass of wine, celebrate the season finale with the boys. Like I said at the start of the stream, it's been a fantastic season. We've had some great overtakes. We've had some drama. Hi, Maisol. Both doing well so far. Marty's had a bit of a racing incident with Thelemy. Into turn 13. It's very tight around that sector, as Callum mentioned in Discord earlier. Yeah, we've had some great races, some great formats. Yeah, I can imagine. I think Thelemy felt that. He struggled, lost quite a few places just getting them switched on, and I think he might have that issue again on the safety car restart. Yeah, I'm half Dutch today. Grateful for all the Dutch contingent that are competing and watching. It's always welcome. This track's actually quite a novel one because of its layout. It can actually be sectioned into 2 tracks. So what it can do is run 2 races simultaneously. And as I've been yapping, the safety car is in. It's such a long stint for Amadi to hold the pack up. It's such a long sector, which we've got to wait for the safety car to go in the pits. You can't, of course, overtake until the start-finish timeline. Amadi will hold up as late as possible. It is a short run to the start-finish, so I don't think he'll wait till the end. But he's got to wait for that safety car to go anyway. He's going quite quick. I would have thought he'd slow it down a little bit more. But there's no hanging around. I think it's the more he slows down, the colder his tyres will get. So I think he's just maintaining that speed. And we'll go last minute. And he goes now. He goes now. Will anyone get caught out? Like I say, it's a short run to the line. Callum takes a look on the first corner. Doesn't make any silly moves. A very experienced driver, Callum. And as we're watching, Big Mike loses it on the curve coming out of turn 1. Managed to keep it going. He could have easily gone into the wall there, but good control from Big Mike. As Callum just said, those hard tyres are tricky. As Brady gets ahead of Cygate, coming out of turn 5, will be under threat from Cygate down the start finish. And who's that going crazy? It's Mark. Is that Mark? No, it's the Williams. It's Williams to Cygate. Taking a big look on Brady, getting himself out of the slipstream of Martin and Catamese behind. Catamese is known for his fast wings, his fast setups. Will he be using one today? It doesn't look like it, because he's dropping behind Marty, so I think he's got a slightly different setup today. There's Marty taking a look on Cygate on the inside of turn 9. So when he gets to turn 12, not quite there. Dan Morrison sticking with his teammate in the front too, while they're struggling to get their tyres switched on. Amadi getting that fastest lap. And those front 4 with the 8s as well has dropped Terry's. He's got the train behind him. Noodles looking to get another place up from where he started. Luca's now going service drive-through. And like I said, he did very well. Cygate has lost a couple of positions. Coming out, I think he's lost traction. Coming out of turn 3. And he's dropped down to P10. Martin Catamese battling, coming out of turn 5. Who will have DRS? I think they both will. From Noodles ahead. Catamese has got the inside. Marty on the outside of turn 6. And as I said earlier, the driver that's behind will have DRS. They both will. I don't think Marty will, as he's a second behind Noodles. So Catamese should be an easy overtake for Catamese. Brady gets ahead of Terry's outside of turn 9. And gets better traction off the corner, gets himself up to P5 from the back of the grid. Great running from Brady so far. A little bit late braking for Terry, he's almost colliding the back of Brady. But just managed to keep it going. Catamese has got ahead of Marty. Down the DRS, down to turn 9, and has managed to stay ahead. As Amadi and Callum taking that fastest lap. So Callum and Amadi getting their tyres working now. Have dropped Dan, who's just over a second behind, so will just fall out of that DRS. But he does have a bit of a barrier between him and Yates. Will Yates pull ahead and catch up with Dan? There's Catamese. Oh, what's happened to Noodles? Noodles has gone off on turn 3. Was that his own doing? It's a tricky corner when you're trying to go flat out, or was it a little bit of a tap from anyone? I'm sure he'll let me know afterwards, and the stewards, if that was the case. But he's back down to P9, but he's been showing some great pace and will look to get himself back up the order. Dan is just dropping Yates a little bit as Callum gets ahead now up to P1 from Amadi. Down to turn 9, utilising that DRS, and I think these two will be switching places and have a good battle all the way to the end. And everyone seems to spell out now of the DRS range apart from the front two. Terry's just sticking with really going through sector 3. And everyone seems to have settled in now. Oh, Terry's having a little bit of a loss of traction coming out of turn 15, and that's put him all under threat from Catamese. He'll stay behind him all the way through sector 1. Noodles jumping in the pits now. Did he get damaged? Did he clip the wall? Or is he looking to get some early switch onto some hard tyres? He does have damage, so he's changing his wing. We'll go on those hard tyres anyway. Can he get to the end? Potentially 20 laps. I think it's possible. It depends if a safety car or anything comes out later on. They'll have to play it. Here as Amadi stays behind Callum down the first DRS zone, and we'll look to make that overtake down to turn 9. Catamese has got ahead of Terry's. Terry's looks to try and take the position back, just not close enough to catch up with Catamese. And Catamese keeps at P6, and we'll look to close down Brady and P5. Picnic closed a couple of tenths now on Dan. Dan's got to just keep concentrating on his own race, his own pace, tyre, concentrate on his own tyre wear. Picnic is closing in. Amadi has got back ahead of Callum. They'll be just in position all the way to the end, and Big Mike is the first one to get the track limit. Pit here from Marty. Is this an early pit stop to get off these mediums onto hards and try and undercut some of the drivers ahead? There's no wing change, so it is an early pit stop from Marty. Let's see how effective the undercut can be. Of course, the long pit exit. Almost hitting the wall. That wouldn't have helped. It doesn't look like he's got damage as it goes under the track. And comes out in P11. Ahead of his compatriot, Noodles, who's currently P12. And will be looking to do an undercut as well from the cars ahead. It looks like he's gone. I think potentially he's maybe gone off somewhere as well. Has he got any damage to the wing? Keep going, my friend. Keep going. Doesn't like it going, so keep going. Of course, everyone that finishes do get points for themselves and their constructors. As Callum's got it back ahead of Amadi, and as we speak, Luca gets ahead of Big Mike into turn 9 and gets himself up to P9. Of course, that's to serve that drive-through, so he'll be hoping for another safety car, but not get another drive-through. And get maximize those points for RB. With the current positions, the title will go to Alpine. Catherine's arrived back on the gearbox now of Brady. A little bit of a shake coming out of turn 5, but we'll have DRS as Amadi takes the position back up to P1, and Yates gets ahead of Dan Morris up to P3. And I think these two potentially could be battling for position for a while as well if they can stay with each other's DRS. Dan Morris will look to try and take that position back going down to turn 9. Can Katamise take the position from Brady as well? Dan Morris is not close enough, and neither is Katamise, so they follow each other 2 by 2. It'd be great to have a few on-track battles for a while. So currently, between those 3 battles, Amadi, Yates and Brady all have the advantage. All on different strategies. Amadi and Callum both on the hards. Yates and Dan both on the mediums. And then Bryn and Katamise both on the starter's side gate. Overtaking teammate is Terry's, who's gone in. And it looks like it's an early pit stop from him to jump on mediums. Again, if he's got damage, but I hope he doesn't. He does not, so doing a pit stop from him. Can he get jumped by Marty, who just passing the start-finish now, round turn 1. It's going to be tight as he's coming under the pit, so Marty does jump Terry's up to P10. As Dan Morris has got himself bug up to P3, and he'll be fighting what's the saying? Nail and tooth? Grit and tooth? He'll be slapping Yates so hard that, especially if Yates comes in and takes the podium for his first race of the season, and Dan Morris has been fighting all season for it, he'll be praying and hoping, but he'll also be enjoying the battle all the way to the end. You of course don't want it handed to you. As Brady and battling hard as Brady stayed ahead in P5. Katamise done 2 laps less on his hard, but he has pit and will look to try and go to the end, or hoping for a safety car later on. So he's on a different strategy to Brady. Sargate is almost 8 seconds behind, who's on the same strategy as Brady. Looper up to P8 now. P9 going strong. Good to see he's got Marty closing in. He'll be looking to overtake again within that DRS in the next couple of corners. Alan will look to retake P1 coming down to turn 9. DRS is open, and Marty does take the position from Big Mike going through turn 4. As Katamise does take the position from Brady going down to turn 9 and has made the position stick. Great overtake. Can he stay ahead, or will Brady fight back? Dan Morris has managed to keep that P3 for now. And while they're battling, Katamise and Brady are closing in, so it's could be a 4-car battle for P3. Yates jumped in early for a pit stop. I'll say early, he's on the medium, so he's gone as long as he feels he needs to. We'll be jumping on those hards. And we're looking for an undercut on Dan. Dan will have to pit this next lap, or he's going to be under threat from Yates' undercut. We'll come out behind his teammate. As Lupa comes round and Yates comes out just behind. He'd be looking for a bit of assistance with DRS from his teammate. And just 3 seconds ahead from Marty, who's closing in as well. And we'll see how Artie's and Terry's undercuts work. Callum Amadi still leading the way. Callum just behind him. Katami's taking Dan Morris up to P3. How long will his tyres last? This is not really a true position for him for now. Well, it is for now, but for later on, it will come back to the other drivers. Dan Morris still in with in the DRS, but Briddy's closing in as well. And Sygate running his own race here, nicely in P6. And Dan Morris does pit. He had to pit, and doesn't get that. Doesn't get speed in either. Again, a very seasoned league racer. Jumps on those hards. How much an advantage will Yates get as he comes around the final corner? Tucked up behind his teammate. As Lupa goes through, Yates goes through, as Dan comes out. And it's going to be a couple of seconds behind as Marty's going to come through as well. On 5 lap older, so but does come out just behind Dan Morris. So Marty potentially in with a shout for a podium. He's in that group. It just depends how long his light tyres last. Time D getting himself back up to P1, down to turn 9 again. These two battling each other hard. And Callum says he's had a journey today and didn't know if he was going to make it. But a little bit of as Yates gets past his teammate. I don't think his teammate's battling too hard, both on different strategies. And Yates will be hoping that Lupa can hold up Dan as much as possible. Dan will not want to be stuck behind Lupa, but Lupa is no slouch, so it's not like he's stuck behind a back marker. But you can see Dan's closing in, smelling what he had for breakfast this morning. And Sygate's now jumping in the pit, switching onto those mediums, and Lupa jumps in as well, and will jump onto, I think he'll probably jump onto some more mediums to the end. Down 1.2 seconds, will want to close in on Picnic. Lupino goes on to some hards. So he didn't have a set of mediums. No, he didn't, did he? He switched on to mediums after his first one, so Lupa hards to the end for Lupa. And Sygate will go on those mediums, who's tucked up behind Noodles, and will be within DRS, so will he be able to overtake? We may see Amity and Callan come in and switch on those mediums as well. And Sage getting himself up to P9. Great overtake from him. Noodles will look to try and fight back if he can get good traction out of the chicane. DRS flicks open on turn 8. The unofficial corner. It's a bend, it's not a corner. And Brady gets himself a track limits penalty, and Noodles isn't close enough to make that. So that will hamper his chances for a podium. Actually, he's going in P3. Only about 10 seconds behind the front runners, considering that he had a bit of a moment and has pit as well. It says a lot about his pace, actually. He did pit in the safety car, but it says a lot about his pace. He's showing today. Dan Morris is closed in on Yates and has got in that DRS. It will flick open here. Will he look to make the overtake going around into turn 6? Let's call this track, and he takes a look on the inside but isn't close enough. He'll be looking to get some great traction out of the exit of turn 7. DRS will ping open like a letterbox. You've got mail. And Tixon looks on the inside. Yates isn't going to battle it too hard, and Dan gets himself back up to P5. Ahead of his teammate, and both front runners dive in. Oh, Callum brakes and make sure he doesn't get that time penalty, but I think he broke a little bit too early. It looked like he trickled over that line, and I wonder if Amadis are slightly ahead. And Briddy gets himself another track limit. Driving in the pits. Cut in the corner. And Katamis takes the lead of the race. And Dan Morris gets the current fastest lap as well. He does have a fastest lap to his name this season. I don't know if it'll stay with it, whether he's setting it on hards, but with Amadi and Callum going on mediums. And Marty getting out ahead. Terry's going past as well as Briddy comes out. Can Sygate and Noodles get out ahead of Briddy? They cannot. As they're just coming around turn 2 now. Lupa trundling along, hoping for a safety car to come out. To get himself back into contention. He's got some pace on him, so we'll look to close in on the cars ahead. Big Mike going strong. 11 laps to go to get himself some points. His first points of the season. He'll be well chuffed for that. And as we speak, loses it on turn 2, but still keeps out of the wall. He's on those old hards. And Callum did lose out in the pit stops. Broke too late. And he's now just under 3 seconds behind Amadi. Wonder if Amadi will slow slightly to bring Callum back into contention so they can have a race at the end. And Terry's gets himself a track limits as well. That will hamper his potential grid position at the end. Callum has got his foot down. Gained a couple of tenths in a couple of corners. All the while, Yates has taken the position back from Dan. But Dan will have that DRS. These two will be battling to the end. Briddy's closed in on Terry's. Brid on the fresh and medium tyres. Locking off a bit in turn 5. But he'll have better traction off the corner and DRS. Terry's will not be able to hold this, but slots in his slipstream behind and will get DRS on the next straight. Can Terry take that position back? Amadi closing in. Dan Morris does take that position back up to P4 for him. Can Terry take it back? He's not close enough, and we'll have to follow through Brady through sector 3 now. Brady, of course, has more penalties. Amadi setting the current fastest lap, and Sygate gets himself a track limits as well. And I think that Callum took that fastest lap. He is closing in slightly. It keeps to and froing. Amadi now closing on Katamis and will get DRS help down the straight after turn 5. Oh, what was Katamis doing then? What are you doing, Katamis? Right, don't know what happened then. We'll have to speak to the guys afterwards. It looked like Katamis was really slow out of turn 5 and either turned into a locked wheels with Amadi. But it means that Callum has taken the lead of the race. Callum currently running in P2. But on his tyre wear, won't be there for long, and I don't think Amadi will be too chuffed with that. But we'll find out what happened in the Discord afterwards. Both been in the league a long while, so it's a bit uncharacteristic of what happened there. There's Briddy and Marty battling. Briddy is just ahead, coming out of turn 9 and 10. Yates staying with Dan Morris as Dan Morris comes around the final corner. Well, we'll have to look at the point of view to see what actually happens. From what it's the view is from here is completely different from the driver's POV. So I'll hold my judgment until then. But it didn't look good what happened there. Noodles, Marty's driving in the pits again, coming out with some fresh mediums. Come out ahead of Big Mike and P11, which promotes Noodles and Looper up. Dan and Yates battling as Dan's still ahead, coming out of turn 7. A little bit of a twitch traction from Picnic, but we'll have the DRS. Can he close in and the overtake down to turn 9? I don't think he's close enough, and Dan will retain position. And Looper in the RB gets past Noodles, going down to turn 6. Noodles will be looking to retake that position, but slots in behind in the chicane. He needs to get good rotation, but Looper gets good launch off the corner. And I don't know if Noodles he's driving the slipstream. Will he be able to get close enough to make that overtake into turn 9? He is not. You can see how the launch that Looper got. And Amadi has got past Katamise now. Up to P2, sets himself a fastest lap, but he's got 4 seconds to make up for this win. Katamise currently on 19 laps, 7 to go. He'll be under threat from the drivers behind. Can he go to the end? I think he'll be looking to do it. 3.2 seconds ahead of Dan and Yates in 4 and 5, but they've just gained 3/10 on one corner. So Katamise will be under threat from these two. Ready running P6 has dropped Terry's. He's running on his own race now. The same as Sygate. Looper, who has dropped Noodles. Noodles down to P10. I think Noodles has got a bit of a... He's got a wing damage. Got damaged wing, so lets Marty past. And we'll drive in the pits, potentially go on some softs for a fastest lap. With 7 laps to go. He's just, like I said earlier, he's a bit under the weather today. Was iffing an eye on whether he'd race, but managed to take some medication and get himself going. He's getting himself back up to P4 ahead of Dan. These two battling hard right to the end. Amadi battling, he's got to close half a second in on Callum now. With these two battling will help Katamise keep ahead. 6 laps to go. Very good racing between these two, and they've closed up to 2.3 seconds now to Katamise on this turn 5. Made it 2.2. What these two need to do is work together so they can get towards Katamise as well. The DRS will help. Dan is on the inside, going in turn 6. Get good traction off the corner. Now 2 seconds behind Katamise. Yates will make that overtake again, back up to P4. And it's now 1.7 seconds behind Katamise. They're closing in. As well as battling each other, they'll have to back Katamise. But they do have 11 lap fresher tyres. And Noodles does dive in the pits, changes his wing and goes on those softs. Can Noodles get the fastest lap and nick it away from Amadi? He of course does have his name on the champions board with a P2 last week. Can he get himself a fastest lap as well? As Yates gets past Katamise, don't think he battled too hard with them. He doesn't want to get impede their race. He will get DRS. down to turn 6. He's going to look on the outside and retake both of them. Dan has the advantage over Yates, P4, but they both will have to get past Catamese as well as each other. Yates looking on the inside of turn 9. Dan has track position. And pushing Catamese around the corner. As I look on the inside of turn 12, almost loses his wing. He's got to be careful not to force this. Otherwise he'll end up... And he does. He's forcing it too much, trying to get past Catamese. He's got to bide his time. Catamese is holding him up on his older tyres. He's not lost yet. He's still in. He's still with them as Yates is looking the inside of Catamese on turn 1, but holds back. This is a frustrating measure from Catamese. Loses position to Yates. Dan takes the position from Catamese, but will have DRS. Catamese has DRS as well. Yates will be under threat from both. Dan battling with Catamese. It's Catamese on the inside of turn 6. And Dan compromised on the chicane. Yates takes those two positions. For both Catamese and Dan will have DRS. And on the inside of turn 9, loses traction on the exit, which promotes Yates. Dan will be looking to take the position. He's got better traction off turn 9. He's got to be careful not to force it again. And Noodles has lost it on turn 2 and has retired and has brought the safety car out. It has brought the safety car out and everyone will... Oh my god. Oh my god. Catamese gets himself a track limits penalty, which would hamper his podium chances. But Yates, Catamese, Dan, all pitting, Bridge pitting, all going to be on for softs. Terry's in, hitting for softs. You did it once or twice. Yeah, I have that on certain tracks as well, where I have a nemesis corner that I just lose it all the time. But Terry's in on some fresh mediums. He should have gone on softs. Sygate stayed out for track position. Lupus fresh softs. Marty fresh softs. Big Mike going round. Will he pit as well? It does mean that we will have... There's Callum coming round the last few corners. Oh, what a mistake there from, I think, the Williams boys. It's going to be a 2-lap sprint. It's going to come in next lap, no doubt. Callum does jump in the pits, does Armady. Armady gets himself a track limits for corner cutting. Has decided to stay out for track position. Yeah, send me a video in Discord, mate. I'll have a look. I'm sure. Is it a funny one? Armady taking track position, but on that decision gets himself a penalty as well. Oh, whoa. So a few last-minute penalties will play a part in track position here at the end of the race. The safety car's got to come in this lap. Surely. Big Mike has stayed out. If not, it'll come in next lap, which will give us 2 laps. No, it's got to come in this, surely. It's got to come in this one, surely. It's not going to give us a 1-lap sprint. I'm surprised it come out so late as well, though. Maybe because it's a long track. Oh my days. Ah, noodles, noodles, noodles. You did well to go as long as you did. And it is in this lap. Oh my god. Oh my god. You predicted it. You predicted it. There's no... Oh my god. Yeah, you've got MOD will hold you up as much as possible, but you've got Picnic's closed in. So MOD's podium's under threat now. Katamis is closed in. Dan Morris is closed in. Amadi is going as late as possible. And he's gone now. And Yates has taken the opportunity. Katamis has taken the opportunity as well. Both caught Callum off guard. I think Amadi's late launch for the line. And Katamis and Yates has both taken advantage. Katamis has now jumped up to P1 ahead of Amadi, who's on those old mediums. Both have got penalties, of course. So currently, Yates has got net P1 for the win of the race. They're snaking down. There's too many moves there from Katamis, which could get a penalty from the stewards if reported. But the McLaren boys pushing hard. Callum side by side with Yates. Yates currently just ahead. There's no DRS until the next lap. But I can't call who's going to win this race. Yates just on the inside. Brady's closing in. As Yates slotting behind now. Callum has now got that net P1. Katamis is leading the snake, which has brought Brady in play, but he's got loads of penalties, so won't have a say in the podium positions. Come on lads, final lap, let's go. Let's fucking go. It's lights out league racing. We've got a last lap sprint with 6 cars to take the win on track with DRS. Katamis is currently ahead. Amadi P2, Callum P3, Yates P4, Dan Morris P5 and Brady P6. Dan Morris battling with Yates there, just tagging wheels. Hard but fair. Dan has got himself up to P4, but DRS will be active. I hope there's no crazy collisions here. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging. Dan, as Yates leaves plenty of room there. With Dan Brady trying to take the position from Yates. Dan getting better launch off the corner. Both will get DRS again. Katamis is under threat. Give us a better angle. Thank you, Co-Masters. Amadi takes the lead. Callum and Katamis side by side through turn 9. Callum will have better launch off the corner. Katamis down to P3. Oh, and that's what we feared. Callum trying to go for a space that wasn't there. And Katamis is now in lead. And this race could be won by Dan Morris. As they cross the line, Katamis comes across the line P1, but the race win goes to Dan Morris. Yates P2, Katamis P3. Callum will take P4 from penalties from Brady P5. Terry's P6, Sygate P7. Amity comes home P8 in the pits. Looper P9, Marty P10, and Big Mike, who's still going, will come home P11. I'll have to watch that again and see the POVs, because the stream doesn't always tell you the final story. But that looked like Callum tried to take the position that wasn't there. Either that or was squeezed by Amadi. Like I said, we'll have to see some POVs if they're sent to the stewards. But what a finish that was. And all's fair in love and war. Congratulations to Dan Morris. I was hoping to get his podium. that he's been striving for all season. And not only does he get a podium, he gets P1. Amazing. Amazing. What a finish to the race. What a finish to the season. And we'll come home, and congratulations to Big Mike as well. And comes home in P11, gets his first race of the season. Yeah, that safety car. I don't recall one coming out that late. And driver of the day goes. It was given to to Yates. But we'll put our votes out for driver of the day. Dan Morris top step of the podium. Yates P2 and Katamise P3. And we'll clip on before the spray comes out. Dan Morris, like I said, comes home P1. The RB coming home in P2. Katamise P3. Callan P4. Brady P5. Terrace P6. Sygate 7. Amadeus P8. Looper P9. Marty P10. Big Mike P11. Noodles and Bartholomew crashing out and both causing safety cars. And what that does mean is congratulations to the Alpine team who claim constructors, and that is Adamako and Wesker, who are not here today. Adamako claiming both drivers and constructors, so congratulations to him. And I'd say congratulations. No, thank you, Noodles. All will be revealed in the Discord about the upcoming season. Nothing's been finalised yet, but all will be revealed. Thank you for everyone for joining us for Lights Out League Racing of Season 25. Thank you for everyone that's joined us and watched us and contributed to the season, whether it's from spectating or driving or just being a member of the Discord. This has been Season 25. Peace out, everybody.